Hi again, YouTube. I just was on a video with you talking about how Satan gets you first. Not that it's natural or it should be a thing, at least not to me. I don't feel that way, but I had to go out and help Doug move a garden tractor that a guy is going to pick up. He bought one from us, so it's not that we sell garden tractors. It's just that we have a couple that we had used for parts. Well, they weren't parts, they were supposed to work, but yeah. Well, anyway, this guy rebuilds them, so he's going to come and pick it up, and it's cold out. So not too terribly, but I wasn't really dressed for it. I had on a lighter jacket, and yeah, but I wasn't out there too long, thank God. So anyway, I'm on my way out the door, and I don't know how it came up. Oh, Doug was talking about his zipper on his coat when he goes to use it. If he says a prayer, it works. And I said, well, I believe in prayer. I know, but I don't always use it because I have my own willpower. There's times that I might need some extra help. Then I'll ask. Otherwise, I don't really. And then he says, you know what's more important than that? And I'm like, what? And I knew what he was going to say. He said, forgiveness. Yeah, we're walking out the door, and I said, well, I have my good days and my bad days. Sometimes I forgive, like, say, if I used a derogatory term for a woman that I've had my face smacked by men too, but I mean, you don't expect it when you're a little kid. And this person I'm talking about beat me across the floor, and I wouldn't cry. I just kept looking at her and wondering what goes wrong with this thing, you know. So I have my good days and my bad days where I forgive, and I'm not going to beat myself up on the days that I don't. And that's and Doug's like, well, forgiveness still is best. I said, I agree, but I'm not going to teach that forgiveness is a mandatory thing because there's just some things that are unforgivable. And this was just the surface crap of what this monster did. So it's like, no, um, forgiveness up to a point, I have it in my heart most of the time. But on the days that I don't, I'm not going to feel bad about it. So that's where I'm at with the forgiveness thing. Uh, So how about you? How do you feel about that? I mean, in all honesty, and I told Doug, I said I'm not gonna um pay reverence to some God that tells me I have to forgive in order to be in anybody's graces for somebody else's misdeeds that they've done towards me. I know that's the way we are trained to feel, that it's a mandatory thing. I'm telling you, it's not. Not all things are forgivable. And that is in the scriptures. I can prove it to you if you want, but you can think it's mandatory. I'm telling you it's not. Don't beat yourself up on days that you don't feel good about another person's actions. No, that's how we get abused to begin with, is by overlooking other people's darkness at the sake of our own peace. No, something else has got to be taught within that as a structure for the society. And I'm sure there's probably a gazillion Christians out there that actually don't know their scriptures that will disagree with me. It's not one of the 10 Commandments. Did you hear me? Just get that. It doesn't say thou hast to forgive. I know what Jesus tells you. Okay. But you also have to know where the Christian religion started, and it started before Jesus was born. Why was he reading out of the book of Isaiah? Oh, I know, that was Judaism. So what are you following? Christians? The real Christianity or somebody else's inserts? You sure are. To control you, to make it acceptable. Ever read the Talmud, the Jewish Talmud? Try reading that. You'll never look at Christianity the same after you do. And then you'll know who wrote your books. Unless you really want to get to the original text, you're reading copies. It's like that game, Telephone, where you tell somebody a secret, they tell somebody a secret, and by the time it goes through 100 people, that story is not going to sound like it used to. And these people out there, they don't seem to care. It's like, look, we have proof, scholarly proof on what's going on in the world to keep you under control, and you don't care. You love your slave masters, you know? See, the dark cabal, yeah. And people like that are afraid, and they do want our forgiveness. And my hat's slipping off my head. Um, so, and it's not a mandatory thing, is what I'm saying. They'll be lucky if people that have been severely abused do forgive them. So, and I do mean lucky. There's nothing that they've done that makes them deserving of that forgiveness. You see, now if they had changed their ways, then you can forgive. It's pretty easy because you can see by their actions that they do have sorrow and they are in an apologetic state of mind for misdeeds. But when they don't change their actions and they only say, I'm sorry, well, I'm sorry for you too, up to a point, but not to the point of forgiveness because you haven't merited that. So, and people can pretend all day, but they'll pretend for about a week, a month, a day, and then do something shady because that's who they are. And yes, Satan was a liar from the beginning. That wasn't necessary. But you can only control people with a lie. Otherwise, control isn't necessary. Between normal human beings, you don't have to manipulate people in order to have something good happen in your life. You'll have a lot more good if you do things the right way. So I'm not forgiving shit. Like I say, I have my good days and my bad days. And the weird thing is, right before Doug had mentioned that, I had been thinking about my adopted mother because she's like 93. Yeah, those Illuminati live long and they prosper and they use Satan's energy. And yes, it is witchcraft. So, anyway, and I'm not forgiving that shit. I've gone up against groups and covens and the dark cabal ever since I was a little kid. I'm not about to put all that aside and say, oh, I just forgive you and we're going to forget all this and you can continue to do what you've always done. Uh-uh, not even close. I can't go for that. No can do. I'm going to play that song later. So just for that reason. I was going to play it anyway, but it's even a stronger urge now. So, yeah. Anyway, boy, it takes some an audacity if you knew the things these people have done, then they want to talk about the number one thing is forgiveness. No, the number one thing is living a virtuous life. So you don't have to be forgiven. Then if you do mess up, it isn't so grievance that you can't g- like carry on with yourself without any guilt, you know, like a normal person would desire in their lives. It's like you're not gonna guilt trip me, you fucking clown, get out of here. I had to leave the comforts of a warm home and go out into the wild. If you think that's a joke. I started running away at 5 till I could get myself emancipated. See, even now, I'm not complaining in a relationship. I gave Doug a letter of divorcement. Do you know what that means? He's my estranged husband. I do not call him my husband. This is my land, my home that I help work for. And there's other ways to go about things in life. You don't always have to just go into the courts. You can take care of your own business. And if he wants to get rid of me at any time, all he's got to do is present a piece of paper with my approval. Bye, dude. You know, it's as simple as that. So if somebody wants to talk about my husband, try that on another woman because it's not working here. I'm making friends out here that value and cherish me more than a husband would. That's my desires in life is good friends, good company, stable minds that don't hurt other people and then say forgiveness is the biggest thing. You. If you think like that, go yourself. Let me give you something to get yourself with. So anyway, that's how I feel about it. So I personally am not going to waste my time beating myself up for somebody else's mental retardations. Not happening. And it's not only their um, spiritual, unbalanced little selves, it's that they actually think I'm stupid enough to buy into that. That's what gets me. So if you have people in your life that are trying to use religion to manipulate you, oh, oh, you need to distance yourself. So, one more thing about that letter of estrangement, that letter of divorcement. It's not a fucking joke. Why should I have to take flowers that were like my great grandmother's that I planted in my yard and sell my place that I've planted the trees on to benefit for the firewood and the rest of it, make a home and a place and develop the land just to what? Sell it and relocate? No. I'll make different friends while I still live here. Who the fuck does anybody think they are? You know? I don't care. And everybody that I talk to, you're welcome in my home at any time. And then you become priority number one in my home. And yes, it's in my name. So, in case anybody was wondering before you try and insult me with a husband that doesn't exist. So anyway, I got married on Independence Day for a reason. And I've explained to people before about the chemical combinations between people. You could call it my chemical romance, but it has all to do with God. It has nothing to do with me or Doug in all reality. That's how deep this war goes. So, just wanted to make that very clear for somebody that doesn't have an understanding of that, you know. And when I say I protect you in my home, even over Doug, if you're a guest in my home, that's what that means. Because yeah, they weren't the best, and I did settle for less a lot in my life, but I've had friends that were ran out of here because he wanted to control the whole situation. That's not ever going to happen again. It's not that um anybody was so worth hanging on to. It was the principle of the whole thing, you know. And I swore that's never happening again. If somebody comes to visit me, they're coming to visit me, period. And he has nothing to do with that. So just want to make it clear. Because he's not the kind of guy, yeah, he likes bonfires and whatever. And like my favorite thing is like singing around the campfire. You know, that's like maybe one of my very favorite things. If you can throw a lake in the picture, wow. Or a mountain, yeah. But um, I don't know. Even things I've actually even given up in my life that I love to do for other people, I'm not operating like that anymore, you know. So, a few years ago when I left, just sort of kind of spur of the moment, well, I had it planned, but I wasn't going to come home right away, but I ended up coming home sooner than I was going to. But I'm a free bird. People um, that try and cage me in or manipulate me, you're going to pay for that. It's just like me talking right now. Um, it should have been known that I would, and maybe Doug knew. Hey, it would give me some good talking points because he knows better. Whatever. If, like I say, if you believe that forgiveness is the best path for you, and for me it is a lot of times, but I don't forgive pedophiles, and I don't forgive dark arts of witchcraft that harm and control other people. No, I am not. That's just not going to happen. You are going to pay for what you fucking did to people. So if you think it's funny that Satan gets you first, I'm telling you, that doesn't come without a cost. If you have an adult harming you, that's a costly situation for that soul. Just like I can't go for that. You got my body, now you want my soul. Well, forget about it and say no go. I can't go for that. It's not happening. It's the other way around. You try and take my soul and I will fucking devour yours. It's that around and find out type of thing. So anyway, want to arm wrestle? Anybody want to spar? That makes me want to spar. Actually, my technique's a little different than that, but yeah. Ugh, the audacity. Wow. Whew. We might have a bit of an interruption, I'm not sure, but it's not a big deal to me. Anyway, that's my whole life. You're welcome. Oh, that's what it was. So, yeah, when he was pulling me, one of the tires were stuck. I thought it was because there was mud under it, because there was. But I got it straightened out, and we were able to pull it anyway with the truck. So, in a chain. Ooh, one time my adopted dad and I stopped on the road. It was a highway and it was kind of hilly, not mountainous, but pretty good sized hills where you couldn't see the traffic. And we actually had to put a chain across the road to get some people out of the ditch. When we were done, these people didn't even thank us. Isn't that rude? Uh, that's the way some people are. That was dangerous. That was pretty scary, too. And I don't know if you've been around when chains snap. Wow, that'll kill you. So, yeah, so what I'm telling you is forgiveness is not mandatory. And people that, what would the word be, um, pose as Christians are going to continuously tell you that that's a mandatory thing. It's the ones that are shady that tell you that's a necessary thing. And maybe for them, that's good policy. Um, maybe. I don't know. Maybe if these demonistic creatures that are narcissistic that had horrible parents and horrible, um, what's the word, examples of human beings in their lives, maybe they didn't learn forgiveness when they were little, you know? Maybe some of us just carry in us, but fight against it because it does go against my nature. But it's my nature that has gotten me hurt with being too passive in dangerous situations. So, and I'm not going to pacify some fucking monster that wants to be forgiven. God can do that. Go for it. It's not my job. Like I say, I have my good days and my bad days, as far as that's concerned. But I don't have people harm me continuously, all a part of the same group in that dark force, asking me for forgiveness while still continuing their dark arts. Forget it. It's not happening ever. All I have to do is remember what you did to my children, and I want you fucking dead. That's enough forgiveness that you're not. Anything else I think or say, I'm not going to feel bad about it. Just feel lucky to suck air one more day so you can ask God for your forgiveness, not me. And that's where I stand on that. Because there's some people right now with those memories and the rage that I could conjure. Forgiveness does not come into my mind. So I'm not protecting people by forgiving monsters, and it's not going to happen ever. And the more I'm pushed to forgive, the more pain you will be going through. Because my forgiveness is already there, but the actions of what you need to be forgiven from, maybe not you personally, but those sort of people haven't quit. So, no, forgiveness isn't even on the table at all. You can flip your tables over all you want, baby Jesus, but it's not going to help you. Go ahead, lose your temper. Do something to me. I don't care. I'm a mother, not your fucking toy. And I'm not going to allow the next generation of my offsprings to be manipulated by these fucking clown monsters out there posing as Christians or whatever group they're affiliated with, that most people are. And you're controlled and manipulated, and just the way people act. Like, go into a live stream and actually see how many people that see your name know your name and will never greet you, and that will tell you the health of the world. I'm not saying I never do. I go where everybody knows my name. You know, usually they appreciate that. But, so, well, I'm going to get this uploaded. I do appreciate you joining me. Have a beautiful week ahead. I intend on it. So, forgiveness. What? No, 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 no. That only comes with changed behavior, and that has to be a constant thing for years or decades or how much longer you got left, not every other day when you choose to be a clown or not. So, whatever, whatever. So, okay, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I love you from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day wherever you're at.